Hello and good afternoon. It has been way too long since I've checked out some more Ren, and I love listening to artists' back catalogues and experiencing their musical journey and how they have evolved over time. So let's check out this song, which is called Make My Way. It's obviously by Ren. It's track number one on the Freckled Angels album, which I think came out in 2016. So we're going way back here, almost a decade. Let's see what a Ren a decade ago sounded like. If you're new to the channel, then you may have joined for the TV show and movie reactions. They're on my new channel called Connection Through Reaction TV and shows. This is going to be music based, this channel, back to its roots of how it was. There's going to be lots of Ren on the way. NF is coming back up. 21 Pilots are going to get smashed in this on this channel. We're going to be checking out more of the heavier music, so Falling in Reverse. I've had lots of requests for Slipknot. I don't know. There's loads of stuff coming up, so please stick around. But one of my favorites, and always has been on this channel, is Ren. So I'm going to be doing a deep dive into Ren's catalogue starting from now. We're going way back. As he releases new music, I'm going to be checking that out. So we're going to be going from his past content to his future content. I'm going to be checking everything out. So if you're a Ren fan, then let me know if there's anything specific you want me to check out. Anything a bit unusual that maybe other reactors haven't looked at yet. And consider subscribing to the channel if this is something you want to see more of. There's no music video for this one, so I'll play the YouTube video from Ren's channel, which I'm guessing is the album cover.
Make my way, I'll make my way, believe me. Life can be such trouble, honey, nothing.
This sounds 10 years old.
They say that sleep is the cousin of death, and so I keep pushing forward till my last breath.
Make my way, I'll make my way, believe me.
Sounds smooth.
Life can be such trouble, honey, nothing comes easy. They say that sleep is the cousin of death, and so I keep pushing forward till my last breath. I haven't slept in almost 3 whole nights. The sun, it hurts my eyes, and I prefer the night when the world, it doesn't move. My brain don't feel right, feels computerized. No switch can still my mind, chemicals don't seem to soothe. So I lie awake, just making beats and breaks. It's like the music takes me to a place where there's no pain. So I'll make my way, and yeah, I'll make my way.
Make my way, I'll make my way, believe me.
Ooh, hear that?
Life can be such trouble, honey, nothing comes easy. They say that sleep is the cousin
There's
of
another one.
death, and so I keep pushing forward till my last breath.
Make my way, I'll make my way, believe me. Life can be such trouble, honey, nothing comes easy. They say that sleep is the cousin of death, and so I keep pushing forward till my last breath.
Right, okay, so we're nearly halfway through, so let's have a bit of a fair use pause to make some comments. So I mean, that chorus, what's he saying? Make my way, I'll make my way, believe me. Life can be such trouble, honey, nothing comes easy. They say that sleep is the cousin of death, and so I keep pushing forward to my last breath. Now, let's just remember that this is the first track on Ren's, I think it's his debut solo album. And we could already hear that he's talking about the struggles of life. He says, life can be such trouble, honey, nothing comes easy. Now, this is, when did I say this was? 2016. Now, what I don't know is whereabouts this was on his health journey at the time of writing this. Now, I've got a pretty good broad overview of Ren's journey at this point, but I'm not too sure on kind of timelines and specific years. So if you know where this album fits within his health journey, then please let us know in the comments. I'll be really interested to know and to link that with what he might have been going through at the time that he was writing this. And despite this idea that life is hard and as he says, nothing comes easy, Ren's telling us he's going to keep pushing forward until his last breath. He isn't going to let things get in the way of what he wants to achieve. And we've really seen that, haven't we? We've seen how his career has progressed, especially in the last few years. He's kept on pushing, doing what he loves doing, despite the pain that he's going through. We see it in his community posts. We see it in the the music he keeps putting out and he keeps producing, the interaction, the engagement he has with the fans. We see it. He's certainly pushing and moving forward. And what else is he saying? He's saying he hasn't slept in 3 nights. I mean, that's a relatively long time, isn't it? And we know that sleep has a massive impact on mental health. He says he prefers the night when the world doesn't move. The world doesn't move. That's an interesting line, isn't it? Is he saying here he prefers it when everything is still and calm? You know, the world isn't moving. Or it could be that when the world isn't moving and everything's calmer, there's less demands on him. You know, he's got there's only so much energy he has that he can give. So when everything's calm and not moving, then there's less demand on him. Then he says his brain doesn't feel right. It feels computerized. You know, don't switch, consume my mind. Chemicals don't seem to suit. So he knows there's something happening with his brain. He can recognize that something isn't right. It feels computerized. That to me maybe speaks of a mind just going through the motions, just like it's on autopilot, just processing information, but not having to go any further than that with it. You know, having no, I don't know, no curiosity, having no pleasure. It's just like an automatic process repeating. And he says chemicals don't seem to suit. I really struggle with that word, suit. Chemicals don't seem to suit. So I'm guessing he's tried some substances to try and get him out of this, but they haven't been working for him. They just don't suit him. So what does he do? He lies awake, just making beats and breaks. I mean, that's him, isn't it? That's his love. That's his love of music coming through in his behavior there. And he tells us what it's like for him. He says it's like the music takes me to a place where there is no pain. I mean, that's just him, isn't it? He's so into music. He's so focused on it in that moment. He doesn't pay attention to anything else, such as the pain that he's currently experiencing. Right, I feel like I've spoken a lot there. Let's just let's just crack on.
My world is shaped like bedroom floors and skirting boards. My brain is sore but crystal clear. It's 4:30 a.m. here. On my laptop in full gear. Making beats that paint my speakers. Seek to reach the hemisphere. Sun it rises, fills the sky, salutes me like a cavalier. I feel hope but yet so broke. I walk a rope, the tightest rope. I cannot escape, my mind is broke. My thoughts are inside the microscope and I'm soaked. Swimming in a sea full of soul. Drowning in solitude, drowning in folk. Swimming in rivers of Babylon. Bubbling, troubling, holding me down by my throat.
Oh, that sounded so ren.
To hope the problems of this world live in the lump inside my throat.
So does that.
Falling hard from grace. My angels hide their face, but hey, I'll make my way.
I'll make my way, believe me. Life can be such trouble, honey, nothing comes easy. They say that sleep is the cousin of death, and so I keep pushing forward till my last breath.
Make my way, I'll make my way, believe me. Life can be such trouble, honey, nothing comes easy. They say that sleep is the cousin of death, and so I keep pushing forward till my last breath.
Wow, is that it? I mean, that's cool, isn't it? 2016, it sounds, maybe that's when it was uploaded on YouTube. It sounds older than that, doesn't it? For those who are old enough to remember. Um, I mean, I don't mean that in a bad way at all. And it's really interesting. Like that verse 2 has a great sound to it, doesn't it? It sounds so Ren. Which I know it probably sounds really obvious because it is Ren, but it just sounds Ren, you know. And just look at the lyrics. He's telling us that his entire world is contained within his bedroom, and it sounded quite similar to um is it Seven Sins? It's one of those tracks around that time where he's talking about being in pain and being almost bedridden. And despite it being really early in the morning, you know, say 4:30 a.m., he is on his computer still making beats all the way through until the sunrise. And he talks about feeling some hope. Now, hope is there. There's a sense of it despite him saying he feels like he's broke. He's clinging on. And we get to see later on in his career, don't we? This resilience coming through. And he gives us some insight into his mind. His mind is broke. His thoughts inside a microscope. You know, is that being closely examined, being uh, critiqued by him, perhaps, but maybe also being like narrow in focus, like in a microscope. You're just looking at one particular spot. You're not taking in the bigger picture of what's going on. And he's drowning in solitude. He's alone, which means he's even more focused on his thoughts, which is probably why he says he's drowning in his thoughts. You know, when you're alone, all you really have to keep you company is your own thoughts, or are your own thoughts. So, you know, it's good to think about that relationship you have with your own thoughts. It's something that we think about and talk about a lot in therapy. And he says swimming in rivers of Babylon. Is that a reference to freedom? He wants to be free from this pain and free from these critical, self-judgmental thoughts. But I don't know, in keeping with the swimming and rivers theme, he says it's bubbling, troubling, and being held down by the throat, so he can't be free. In fact, if he's being held down, he's at risk of drowning. And he says, I try to be that joke, which I think he means he's, I don't know, trying to have a laugh where he can, trying to see the good and the humor in things where he can, despite that he has a world full of problems and falling from grace. You know, things have been going well for him, but he will continue to make his way. And then we had the outro with the scratching, which I think is what makes it sound older than 2016, you know. And Ren's saying, what went wrong? What went wrong? So seeking the explanation, maybe asking the why me? Did I do something? Did I do something to deserve what happened to me? Did I do something wrong? Did I not do something that I should have done? All really common questions that people ask. And the hard thing is that quite often there's no answer. There is no answer to why. And we have problem-solving minds. It likes answers, and you know, this is hard to make sense of when there is no answer. But sometimes there are just things that can't be solved like that. I really like that. I was quite surprised by it. I was quite surprised how it still sounded like Ren. That might sound really odd, but I know when you go back to first albums of recent artists, they sound completely different. And this didn't. This still sounded like Ren. And it's really interesting to hear the same thread that he has going through all of his other work that I've heard, and how he's coping with pain and the difficulties that he has. It'll be interesting to see if there's peaks and troughs within this journey, within this thread woven through this album. And I'm not sure what other albums he's got up to, what he's currently has out. But it'll be really interesting to see if there's common themes coming up with the highs and the lows, especially from my perspective. So that's it. So let me know what you think about track one on what I believe is Ren's first studio album. So drop some comments down. This is connection through reaction. If the song connected with you, if my reaction connected with you, then please feel free to share how and why, if you can answer the why. That's it. Take care, everyone. Goodbye.